What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, Dimitris Nezis. Oh, you know about Dimitris Nezis. Oh, he's from Greece. Yeah, you know. Oh, but you heard about him in London as well? Oh, but he's worldwide. He's an independent artist, a singing artist in the pop rock dance genre. He does it all. And you're going to hear about him in the next few minutes. So stick around. This week's shows, I will be at the RAB on Friday night. My usual Friday night gig, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. So excited. Every Friday night at the RAB. It's always a good time. Full bar, kitchens open, pool tables, pool tournament on Friday night. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool, I encourage you to check out the RAB. Oh, and try the food. It is delicious. The new owners also own the Italian restaurant, so they're classing that kitchen up, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's see. Oh, on Saturday, I have a birthday party. Unless you're invited, you cannot come. But I'm only saying it because I'm excited. I get to do Saturdays, different events, weddings, parties, birthdays, corporate events. Oh, yeah. Saturdays are made for parties. But Friday night, come and sing a song at the RAB, Conway, Arkansas. All right, that's enough intro. I want to get into it with Dimitris Nezis. I got him on Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN. Skyping Dimitris Nezis now. Well, I hear you just fine. You look beautiful.
All right, thank you.
He's a handsome man, and he sounds good. Hey, I wasn't fishing for compliments. Yes, I was. I was fishing. Zzz, I got you. Fished in like a fish. Dimitris Nezis.
Yes.
Did I pronounce it properly?
You do pronounce it properly. With flesh and bones. Dimitris Nezis, straight from Athens, Greece.
Straight from Athens, Greece. Okay, all right. For us on this side of the planet, us dumb Americans, we always think that names in the ancient countries, the countries like Greece, like Rome, Italy, right? All of the European countries that have been here for thousands and thousands of years. So much history that we go and visit your country just to see the ruins of another civilization that has long since been gone. But I always wonder, do the names mean anything? Does Dimitris Nezis mean anything?
Well, okay, I'm impressed with the question. I wasn't expecting that type of question. Okay, well done. As for the origins of my name, firstly, because in Greece we are like, most of us, we're like Christians, Orthodox. It comes from this Saint Demetrius. Maybe you have heard about Saint Demetrius, and also there's a second origin about that. It comes from the goddess Demetria, which is the harvest goddess. It's like it has two types of origination. You know, it comes from the goddess Demetria, and also it comes from the Saint Demetrius. Mostly, it's been used because there was a saint named with my name. Apart from that, as for my last name, I need to admit it's a nickname. It's not my real last name. but no one knows about it. No one knows, and you will not even know about it. You will not. You will not.
Don't worry. It's just us. It's just us. Just whisper it right here in my ear. Nobody's listening. Nobody's watching. It's just us.
Trust me. Trust me. No one has to listen to my real last name. It doesn't sound well. It's weird. It's weird. Well, that's why I changed it to Nezis. Basically, in Greek, it's called Nezis. But, you know, some people call me Nezis. The only thing I don't want for people to call me is Nazis. Because, you know, possibly some people who are a little bit older may remember some tough times in history. And I don't want people to remember me as Nazis. It's not Nazis anyway. It's not Nazis anyway, so it's better for us to stick to Nezis.
It's Nezis. Look, you know, the origins of a name is important. You know, of course, my name is not KeysDAN. I'm from the Florida Keys here in the United States, and my first name is actually Daniel. So KeysDAN is a moniker that's been handed to me, or actually I came up with it years ago, and it stuck. But, you know, people in your profession, in our profession, we change our names because we want to either have an anonymity or find something that's a little bit more interesting. And I want to thank you, first of all, for knowing English. I'm thinking that that people in Greece know English anyway, and not just Greeks. But, I mean, I do want to know, who is the Saint Dimitris? What is he the saint of? What is his thing?
I wasn't expecting that type of question. Seriously. Oh my God. It's so embarrassing because, you know, I need to admit that I'm a Christian Orthodox, but I need to admit that I'm not that into you know, I don't know how to say, you know, I believe that there is goodness to a lot of things, to a lot of, you know, things out of there, not only in Christianity, if you understand what I mean. As I was getting older, I was trying to believe, and I was trying to see goodness in every single thing out there. I'm a Christian Orthodox, but I'm not that, you know, I'm not that fanatic Christian Orthodox. So when I was even a child, I was good in history. I was a little bit of good in maths. I wasn't good in the in that lesson when we were used to study about Christianity. But I remember that Saint Dimitris was a saint who was trying to help the poor. I'm not 100% sure about it, but I remember he was trying to even steal somehow from the poor, from the rich to help the poor people.
It's kind of noble, you know, to try to help the poor. Once we get to a certain level, to a certain status, you want to help the people around you. And I know that some of your songs have a lot of messages in that, and we will get to your songs. I encourage everyone, you know, here, if you look up Dimitris Nezis, the name, you'll find the YouTube videos, you'll find the Spotify, you'll find the Apple. But I like to know a little bit about the person behind the music. You know, how you started, how this came about. Are people in your family musically inclined? The music of the Greeks. I've done weddings, okay? So many weddings over the years. And some of the best weddings are the Greek weddings, where they dance you know, in the circles. I can't remember the name of the dance, where you dance in the circles with your family. the men on the outside, the women on the inside, and you kind of switch partners. Maybe I'm confusing that with the tarantella. I think that might be Italian, possibly, or maybe it is Greek.
No. There are lots of different type of dancing. It's not only one. That's why.
Okay.
There are lots of them. There are lots of them. Every single town, almost every single town in Greece has that type of dancing. So.
Okay, to go back to
it's not only Italian.
The origins of names, the origins of you. Yes, I'm half Cuban. I grew up in a Catholic family. I went to Catholic school, and all I heard about Daniel, my first name, was that I got fed to the lions. I'm in the lion's den, and I got out alive. I made it. I made it out alive.
You're alive.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
Any name that has L at the end, it means God. So Daniel. It's something of God. I too don't know the complete origins of my name. But what's in a name anyway? The great bard Shakespeare said, a rose would smell just as sweet by any other name, right? And I know I'm paraphrasing. I'm butchering that up. But do the Greeks learn English in school, in primary school? Is that something that happens all the time? Or do you always have to be bilingual? I learned Spanish when I was a young lad, when I was a kid. But do you have to learn English and Greek?
Well, that's how it goes in Greece. When you're about 5 or 6 years old, your parents sent you to a school to learn a second language apart from Greek. Greek is the mother language. Apart from that, and based on the thing that like 60 years ago, 50 years ago, because Greece had so many wars happened here, especially in Europe, they were sending their children, they were migrants, a lot of migrants in Germany, in the US and stuff like that. So it happens, and it used to be happening to the families even right now. They send to extra schools their children to learn a second language. Most of them learn English, most of them. And it's something, you're not obliged to learn English, but most of the families here send their children to learn English. As a second language, if they want to, most of them prefer to learn French or German, and some of them Spanish. But it's the most common thing for the Greek families to send their children to learn English. Apart from that, when you go to the primary school and even high school, there is always a language that you need to learn. You're obliged to do that. You're obliged to learn one extra language, and it's English.
Very good. Well, I'm glad that you learned English, because I have these beautiful songs that are sung in English, and you've had collaborations with people in English, but I listened to your Greek songs. Oh my goodness. Okay, you sing beautifully in English. Without a doubt, you have the skills. I don't know how long you've been honing those. We'll get into that for sure. But when I listen to you sing in the Greek, I hear you feel it from so deep. I can tell that's the language that you feel. I have no idea what the words are saying, but I can feel you singing that music in Greek. I mean, okay, when did you start the singing? Are there family members that are getting you into this music? Do you play any instruments? I know I'm throwing a lot of questions out at you, but answer them as best you can.
All right. So everything started when I was a little child. It was my biggest dream to become a singer. It was my biggest dream since I remember myself, since forever. So when I was growing up, I had only this in mind, but I come from a family that no one has to do with the music industry, no one at all. I had no help at all, but I had my heart and my mind, which were stuck on that dream. So when I finished high school, I tried to study economics, but nothing happened there because I quit. And I went to the National Conservatory of Athens to study how to sing, to study how to play the keyboards. I know how to play the keyboard, not that much, because I was concentrated on how to learn to sing professionally. So I studied for some years here in Athens, and after that I moved out to London when I was 25, because I was doing a bachelor in music performance in University of West London. I used also to live and work in London. It was a wonderful experience. I will never forget it, and I don't regret anything at all. It was one of the biggest experiences in my life because it made me a better person and also a better artist, for sure. But when I was in London, I wasn't that confident. I need to admit that. Even though I was studying, I wasn't feeling that confidence in me to start singing something in English. I had some opportunities, but I was shy. I couldn't make it. When I was 25 years old, I released my first Greek songs. It's not easy when you are not signed as an artist, when you're independent, and when you have to pay for everything. It's not easy to do anything at all, to do anything, any type of step. So when I was it was almost 4 years in London, something personal happened, and I needed to come back in Greece. So I was hiding behind that lie, and I'm very honest with you. And I told myself, I'm coming back to Greece because I want to try to do a career here in Greece, and there's no way for me to do anything in London. It was a lie. I wasn't confident. I need to admit that. So from 2011, I was trying to release independently, of course, Greek songs. It's another story when you sing in your mother language. You feel it to your gut.
Yes.
It's another story, of course. And also, I'm a lyricist, so I write the lyrics that I sing. I can feel every single word. 8 years of me releasing Greek music. I had some friends from London. They were like, come on, you have to release something in English. Come on, Dimitris, you have to try that. So in 2020, I told myself, you need to try, for goodness sake. You need to try that. And also because my style is not that type of I'm pop rock. I'm mostly singing in pop songs and dance. I release dance music. This is not that popular in Greece. In Greece, it's like most singers sing. Have you heard of bouzouki?
No, I have not. I might have played it at a Greek wedding, but I don't know if that was the type of music that I'm thinking of in my head.
Have you heard of zorbas dancing?
No, I see. No. I might have seen it, but I don't know what it is. If you say the name, I don't know it.
All right. Bouzouki reminds somehow of guitar, but it's very Greek. So most singers in Greece sing that type of music, which includes mostly instrumentations of bouzouki and stuff like that. It's a way other genre than pop. So I told myself, you should try to release something in English because possibly there will be more chances for you to be heard worldwide, for goodness sake. you will expand your fans, your fan base. Go for it, give it a try. So I asked from a friend of mine who I know from 2007. He's living in the US and he's Spanish. I'm not sure. I think he's Spanish. He's called DJ Trevi, and he had some collaborations with Warner Bros. And I told him, he was writing mostly ADM music. I told him, would you mind writing me something? And I will put the lyrics on it. And he's like, of course, come on. I was waiting for that for so long. So he gave me the music of Out of Me, which was my first single. It was released like 2 years ago. And I need to admit that I was impressed on how many possibilities there are out there where for an indie artist to be heard. What? You know, I felt way more confident. And I trusted myself to go out there and be heard. And you know, it's not easy because there are so many beautiful artists out there who live in the UK, in the US, in Australia, and who, of course, they sing. I don't know if they sing better from me in English, but somehow I need to admit that they may feel better the music they sing, the lyrics they sing, because it's their mother language. But you know, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best, and I need to admit that I'm evolving.
Yes,
I'm evolving. I need to say that.
Time and repetition is what's going to make you better. The practice makes perfect. It's been an adage that's been around for the longest time. But you know, I'm thinking about the types of music. My listener is aspiring to be a musician, to be a singer, such as yourself. But there's two ways you can do it. You could do the bouzouki music. That'll get you a job every weekend at the restaurant. You'll be able to be the bouzouki singer at the club there, and it's very comfortable. It's only a few miles away from your house, maybe 5 minutes away. You go do that job every night. That is a very small, limited, but you can make a living doing that. You can play weddings there in Greece doing the bouzouki music. But you have aspirations of going beyond that, of going further. You've done the bouzouki music you did it for 8 years. You were doing that type of music, localized Greek music, stuff that's very near and dear to your country. But you have aspirations. You've seen the outside world. Now, Athens, very ancient city. It's a city that's been built on top, and built on top. And then London, also an ancient city. You know, maybe I'm not sure quite the history. I know the Britons were there thousands of years ago, and then the Greeks thousands of years ago. There's ancientness to both of them. There's history to both. Now you coming from Athens, okay, with all its history, and going to London with all its history, what was the I mean, there has to be so many differences, but what is it that drew you to London besides school, the University of West London, go whatever their mascot is, you know, but besides going to that school, what struck you about London that was so different from Greece that you enjoyed yourself, or you didn't?
Nightlife.
Tell me about the nightlife of London, because all I hear is that there's a pub on every corner, and the pubs are all named Cock and Bull, Flower and Lace, Egg and Hammer, you know, so they all have these crazy names, these pubs, but they're on every corner, and the beer is warm and frothy, or you know, what is it about the nightlife that is so different from Athens, Greece?
Basically, even in Athens, nightlife is very good. You know, you can get wasted anytime. and the night halls, stay open till early in the morning. So sometimes this is better from London because sometimes the pubs were used to like close at 11 o'clock at night, but there were some like underground clubs. There was something underground which was really fascinating. And when I was like 25 years old back then, I was enjoying to the max. Apart from that, when you live in another country, you feel like way freer. You feel like that freedom that moves you to enjoy that more. I was like feeling free away from my family who were living in Athens. It was my first time living alone. All of that combination helped me enjoy that when I was living in London. It was great. And also I enjoyed that, it's like a rejuvenation, it's like I was feeling reborn. It was like a new way of living, definitely different from the way of living I used to have in Athens till I was 25. And, also people were very friendly. They were okay to me. I got some great friends. I still do have them. And they visit me, in Athens, and I visit them back in London. And also it was great, the feeling that you could also travel cheap from London. Do you know that?
I did not know that. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Is it a railway or what is the expense of going from, because I imagine in Europe, all these countries that are all on top of each other that are so close. Hey, let's take a jaunt over to France. Hey, let's go check out Portugal. And I think that will be so neat to be able to go and hop from country to country and experience the richness and the culture of the different countries that have all come to the United States and really have been melted down in our what we call the melting pot. And everybody brings all their cultures here. So we really don't have, I know people say, oh, we have a rich culture in America. Well, our culture is a mixture of all the cultures all over the world, I think. That's our history of our young country. But you have very demographic, very sectioned off cultures in Europe. And I find that fascinating. But tell me about the travel from Greece to Europe to London, from Athens to London.
Basically, yeah. You as you said, the expenses were. It was cheap to travel from London to any European country. You could travel, going and come back. You could travel like 2 ways with only 50 euros, which is about $60. It was very cheap. And I enjoyed it because I went to the Netherlands, I went to Italy, I went to Iceland, I went to France, I went to Brussels, I went to so many places, and I enjoyed it because it was very cheap. And I love traveling. And, it sounds familiar. That you're talking about the countries in Europe. You're talking about their history, and you believe that it's very fascinating, and that's how it works for us, for Europeans too. So I'm a European, and I definitely believe that living in the U.S., also traveling to the U.S., and also when I'm thinking about USA's history, I believe it's absolutely fascinating. Fascinating.
Oh, for sure. And you were talking about Greeks that have been at war for a long time. I believe the United States has been at war for a long time. Our times of peace are very light. And I know, oh my goodness, I'm listening to the one song that you had, The Poison. about freedom and why are you poisoning my freedoms and oh, everything is so out there is just so topsy-turvy, turned upside down. And did you write this song and do all the music as well? Tell me about Poison. I want people to go and listen to Poison after they're done with this, or you can pause it right now. Go ahead, pause it, listen to the song, and then come back, and Dimitris Nezis is going to tell you all about it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell them all about it. We're back.
Okay, I'm so excited about this song. I wrote it. I'm so excited. You know, I need to tell you the story. About a year ago, when I heard that I'm a Grammy voting member, I was trying to connect with people, with other voters. So I connected with Kit Wakely. Kit Wakely is a magnificent musician. Kit Wakely is amazing on what he's doing. And lately, he won his first Grammy too. But yeah, like in February, he won his first Grammy. When I met him, when I connected with him, he was so kind. He was so down to earth and friendly. So when I was like, you know, kid, I love your music. Is there any possibility I could like collaborate with you in a way? And he told me, of course, yes. So I have some unreleased songs, unreleased instrumental songs, and you can choose any of them. But I need to admit that if he wasn't believing in me, he wouldn't like giving anything. I suppose. He obviously he must have heard some songs of mine. He must have believed in me since the beginning. That's what he's saying to me, like, you know, backstage. He's always saying to me that he believes in me. He believes in my talent. Yeah.
Well, I definitely believe in you. Just the lyrics itself, the war is poison, the hate is poison. It's very powerful.
I'm gonna tell you. So when I listened to that music of Poison, the instrumental, the music, I was like, wow! I was impressed. The music is brilliant. It is fantastic. So, because I'm a lyricist also, I prefer to sing my own songs. Mm-hmm. I wasn't able to sleep at night back then, a few months ago, because I was trying to find some lyrics to suit the melody. So I remember myself. I was like, come on, I need to find the story behind that. I need to find the story. But it was it was an EDM melody, but very aggressive somehow. It was like bringing to me some memories when I was a child. That I was, you know, I had high hopes for my future, and I wanted to do so many things when I was older. And that, in combination with the war that still happens in Ukraine, and because I'm also that type of person who wants freedom all over the planet. I believe in freedom. I want freedom.
Well, I know that you were born in the 80s, and I graduated in the 80s. And I remember the thing that I learned about Greece, you know, in civics, you know, learning about the world history and what have you. It was Turkey and Greece were having conflicts back in the 80s. And I don't know if that's been resolved or do you like the Turks now? Are we all getting along? But it's always a conflict. And I know that it takes a toll on the economy. And I've heard that Greece is having problems with the economy as well. And it's hard to make a living. I do have this opportunity to speak to a Greek, but I know that you don't have all the answers. And I want to make reference that you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do this. I want to thank you for that for sure. Before we go any further, you know, you're up at the the vampire hour, you said?
Vampire hour, exactly.
All right.
Right now it's 3:35 in the morning. So hello to any vampire in my house.
There you go. There you go. But you have to invite them. You have to invite. Go ahead.
I need to admit that unfortunately we still have some conflict with Turkey, but I think that's problems between governments. I don't think that it's problems between the citizens. Anyway, I believe in freedom. I believe in democracy. I believe in friendship. And I love Turks. I love Americans. I love everyone. I love people. I love freedom. I love love. And so let's keep talking about Poison. So
Please.
the combination of my memories as a child with the war still happening in Ukraine brought up to real life Poison's lyrics, and I was like, okay, let's talk in the verse. Let's talk about my childhood, and in the chorus we can talk about war. And of course, I'm trying to pass the message to whole planet, to the whole world, that peace is one of the biggest things we should keep alive.
Well, I mean,
Definitely.
Even the visuals that you have on the video. I'm a very visual person. As I said, I graduated in 1986. MTV was the music video station. Video killed the radio star. So unless you had the visuals, you can be a great musician, a great singer, but unless you had a great music video, you were gonna only go this far. You had to go a little further to get that visual. But I see things blowing up and the visuals that I can, that I always play videos at the clubs when I play songs. But I do want to play this song on Friday night for the people, and people are gonna go, wow, what is that? That's powerful. But tell me about the visuals and who made the video for you.
Well, the video was made by Pulse Music Greece, which is a record label that I run.
Oh, okay.
It's my record label. Yeah. From that record label, I also try to support other indie artists in Greece that do not have the money to release their songs. So I'm doing that on my own, and they don't need to pay a penny for that. I'm so happy when I see them smiling and that they're proud to be working with me, and that's all that matters. So about the visuals, which was made from my team, from Pulse Music Greece, and basically it was my idea.
Okay.
I told them I want some visuals that has to do with war, but I don't want like blood and stuff like that in my visuals. I want something more artistic. So when they gave me some videos and some visuals, I was like, come on, look at that. I want that to be the visualizer of my song. I love it. And of course, I would love to have a music video about that. I have some great things in mind. I would love to have music video like what we did with Viral, which was my previous single. But unfortunately, I need to admit that I don't have the budget to do it, because I'm also releasing a whole album this year, and the whole thing is based on me. I need to pay for that. I'm not a signed artist. I need to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Master, mixers, engineers, studios. I need to do everything on my own, and I'm just in my beginning. I don't have that big budget.
Well, you say you're in the beginning, but you have been honing this craft, and what you're looking for, what you need, is to have people that will back you up, that will give to the cause, donate to the cause. If somebody finds your music online and sees something in you and has the means and has the pockets that are full of cash, come over, check out Dimitris Nezis and help him to get to that next level, because you're doing great on your own. Anybody that's watching the video version of this will see you have a microphone behind you with a pop filter, so you can make at least a demo in the room that you're in right now. And I'm looking. Well, go ahead. Yeah, you could make a demo, and I'm guessing that you're recording other people as well. You're not only recording yourself and trying to get your career further, you're also helping other people, which is what we're supposed to be doing on this world, is helping each other out. And that's beautiful. You're all about the peace and the love, and you're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. You're doing great, Dimitris. I mean, I've watched you from afar, and I know that we've tried to put this interview together for so long, but it took you staying up till 3 a.m. to finally be able to talk here, because unfortunately my daytime schedule is topsy-turvy. But I'm so happy that you did that, and you're drinking copious amounts of coffee. What are you drinking there? I see a cup, but I don't see, trying to say yes to new adventures. But what's in the cup?
Of course, it's my coffee, because I couldn't make, I couldn't make it to be, awake at 4 a.m. But I'm so excited to be talking with you. Seriously, I'm so excited. I was waiting for that for so long. It's almost a year.
So beautiful. And I've been happy to listen to your music and share your music and play it on radiowhat.com. That's a given. That's one small way that I can help. And I want everyone to go listen to the music, listen to Dimitris, share it on your social media for sure. But I do want to go back a little bit. You were talking about you were in your 20s and hanging out in London, and I've often told people in their 20s, men and women, when they're young men, young women in their 20s, they got no attachments, no significant others. Go off, do things, travel the world if you can, do exactly what you did. Take in all the flavors of all the different places in the world, and that it'll inspire you, whether you're a singer-songwriter or even a dentist. Whatever you do in your life, the travel and meeting people is going to inspire you. But you have the superpower, the inspirations that you took from traveling around Europe and beyond, was to put it on paper, to make it into song, whether it be in Greek or in English. The Greek stuff has been around, my goodness, 12 years ago. You started doing YouTube, and you were putting stuff in Greek. The bushka, what was the name of it? The type of music? Babushka?
Bouzouki.
Bouzouki. Babushka. I think that's a Russian thing, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, but the bouzouki music, you've been putting that out. You did it for 8 years. You have so much content out there, at least on the YouTube. And then, thankfully, to the rest of the world, or at least the English-speaking world. I mean, I love the Greek stuff. I've said that already. But to the English-speaking, now we not only get this great music, but we also get the lyrics that you've poured your heart into. It's amazing, the powers you have. I've never written a song, and let alone several songs, and had the ability to record them and put them out into the world. Now, you say that you're going out of your own pocket and going to studios. Is there a particular studio that you use that you want to give a shout out to?
Basically, it's my team's studio. It's Hello to Play Recording Studio. That's
Okay.
the name.
And then the Pulse Music Greece, it's your place. Is that what's I'm looking at behind you, and possibly in the other parts of that room? You have the ability to record yourself. You have instruments. You said you play a little bit of keyboard. I have a keyboard out there in the living room, and I don't know how to play any of it. I'm very happy that my wife, at least, she's learning how to play that piano, but I can't play any of it at all.
Pulse Music Greece, basically, it's the first time that I'm saying that in public. It's my first time. No one knows. So you're the first to know, and now everybody knows that Pulse Music Greece is run by me. And as I told you, it's a studio in my home that I bring some artists, new artists, to record their stuff without paying a penny. And also, basically, it was created just to support me releasing my music, in an independent way in all digital platforms. I just wanted to do that like 2 years ago because I was very upset with the way record labels used to still work in Greece. I think that this is not only happening in Greece; it happens worldwide. Most people think that you're a money machine and that they want to like drain you down, and take all your money from your pockets till the last euro. Anyway, I don't like the way it works, and I will not become the way they are. I believe in myself. And I want to walk down the street to another pathway, a pathway of people supporting freely, people supporting from their heart.
Well, that's a story that I've heard a lot. That's a big through line when I talk to independent artists, people that are not just independent, but they've had a record label that have helped them out. Now, back in the 60s and the 70s, way back when radio was brand new and records were brand new, it used to be a record executive, somebody who had that type of business, would go and find the talent and bring them to the studio, pay for the studio time, help them to make their records, promote the records. That is something that is of the past. Now with social media, now the record label is looking for people that already have 100,000 fans, already have, likes and a big following on social media. And then they want to go in and say, oh, I can make you a little bit better. But really, the stories that I've been listening to is that the record company just wants to take a piece of the money you're already making.
Definitely.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's the way it works, and I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm confused because sometimes I'm thinking, it's not that easy to be an independent artist because you need to do anything on your own. And especially when you also do something else for a living, you don't have the time to do that. For goodness sake, I'm working 7 days out of 7, and I don't have that much time to share on my social media, to do some live streaming concerts, to do some live streaming interviews. I don't have the time, but and on the other hand, I'm I wish I had the record label. I wish I had the manager. I wish I had a booking agent. But it's not. I don't think it's the right way.
Well, whatever help you get, you need to get help to get to that next level, because we can only do so much on our own.
Right.
You have the day job. You have the day job that is helping to keep food on your plate and a roof over your head. But then you have only so many hours when you're not doing that job to focus on your music career, and it's very difficult. But if you had somebody that could help you, maybe with the social media, maybe help promote you, go and put flyers out, or to go talk to a club or a venue and say, hey, would you like Dimitris Nezis to come and play with you? But you're talking about the record labels. You're in London by yourself at 25 years old. You could have easily been taken advantage of. Now, I do want that was the first time, and I know I'm bouncing around, but I'm kind of interested about the home life and the family life. Before you were 25, it seems like you were living at home and with your parents. And do you have siblings as well?
I have a sister who is 11 years older.
Okay.
Come on. She's 11 years older. Sorry for any mistakes I'm doing, but it's a little bit early in the morning. Sorry.
Well, we've already done that. I think people are going to forgive you on that. But
Please forgive me.
Well, tell me about the home life, because what I've heard is that, the Greeks have more often than not will bring the parents and the grandparents into the house. Is that something? Is it a family unit like that, or do you at least live in close proximity to where you have all your family together, or is it spread out like my family is completely spread out now all over this country?
Have you watched the Big Fat Greek Wedding movie?
Yes, I use Windex for my boo-boos all the time.
I need to tell you that it's true story. True story. Most Greek families have that bad habit. Definitely bad habit. Most parents in Greece, they want their children to be living with them in their house till the day they got married. I think it's one of the biggest mistakes, because I can see that from my family. My sister she's like 49 years old right now, and because she was divorced, she still lives with my parents. I think this is sick. I don't know. I think somehow this is sick.
You're going to get in trouble.
It happens to lots of Greek families, and I don't want this to happen. This doesn't happen in the UK though. When you are like 17 or 18 years old, most parents, from the ones that I have met, they were like, okay, now go study and do your life. I will always stay here. If you need any type of help, I will always stay here and I will be waiting for you. But you need to try. You need to spread your wings out and fly and do your life and make something. Otherwise, how you will be able to learn how to live if you are stuck to your family's apartment?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
It will not work. It will not work.
It makes a lot of sense. I think that, I left my house when I was 17, and I was done with high school. I was just getting into college. I left. I got my own apartment, and I went to college. It was a struggle. It was a little bit of a struggle. I had a job part-time that was helping me out. But, there was times I had to go home for about a month or two to get things situated, and then I went back out on my own. But, yes, you're right. People need to spread their wings. It's good to have even a part-time job when you were a child, or when you're just growing up. It's good to have that responsibility. You get to go out and meet other people. And you went all the way to another country to go and have that college experience. That had to feel great.
It was big. It was big because it was the first time I was leaving my parents, and I didn't went down to another town of a Greek town or something. I moved out to another country. It was such a big step for me. But for the first 3 months, it was aggressive. It was very difficult. I need to admit there were some difficult nights, and I was very afraid, and I was very disappointed, and I was struggling to be okay. But after 3 months, you cannot believe how good it feels to work and live and support and you will be supporting yourself on your own powers. It's amazing, the feeling. It's amazing, and I'm always telling that to my Greek friends. Go and try the experience of living in another country abroad. Go for it. You will remember me. In the beginning, you will definitely want to come back, because it's the way of you were used to live in a different way. You will find it difficult.
Well, you had the advantage of being a handsome young Greek man in another country, because at least the ladies, and probably the gentlemen as well, will find the accent that you have. You speak. A lot of people, I say, oh, you have an accent, and they'll get defensive. I don't have an accent. You have an accent. My English is fine. No, but if you go over to another country, you're going to have the exoticness of being, I am Dimitris from Greece. And all the English women are going to go, ooh, that's great. Ooh. So I'm sure.
I remember some friends that I got from England. They were like impressed, like you say. They were like, and when I was in England, they were calling me Jim, not Dimitris. So in the beginning, I was like, here I am, I'm Jim from Greece. And after some months, I told them, my name is Dimitrios. And they were like, come on, you got an exotic name. Dimitrios is magnificent and stuff like that. And I also need to admit that when you don't like speak a language, which is not your mother language, every single day, your accent is, stronger. When I was in London, after some months, my accent was getting better and better and better and better. I need to admit that when it's not your mother language. When I came back in Greece in 2014, and almost for 9 years, I'm talking in Greek. Sometimes, like when I give an interview, or when I have to record a song, or when I watch a movie in Netflix and stuff like that, then I listen to English, but I do not communicate with English that much. So that's the reason why my accent got a little bit weak again. But I believe that when I'm coming to the US, because I have some great plans for me moving out pretty soon over there. So I think that everything will go better with my accent. Apart from that, when I was in London, I used to hear people saying that English people were not that strict with their language, because it's their language. They speak English in the whole planet, so it's like something they're used to. They and I also need to admit that there are some Scottish people and some Australian people that they even got way more stronger accent than Europeans who are trying to speak in English, So it was okay, but I had some great English friends who were like helping me with that. And they were like, come on, well done. You will getting better and better and better. Try to think in English. And it was okay. But they were telling me, and in the beginning I was afraid, like, come on, how will I be able to talk to an American? They were like, Americans may be like more strict with their accent. Well, and I was afraid in the beginning. Come on, don't scare me.
Well, I'm a bit of an Anglophile. I do like the English people. The UK, I mean, my goodness, you're right. They used to be all over this planet. The United Kingdom, what was the saying? It used to be the sun never sets on the United Kingdom because it's all over. It used to be all over the world. But I've heard that story before, and you're telling me that your name, Dimitris, you tried to assimilate, and you changed it to Jim. I've heard that so many times. People come from different countries and their names sound so exotic to us, and they'll go, oh, my name's Bob. I'm Bob. But your real name is beautiful.
It wasn't my fault. When I used to go to the school, to the English school, when I was 5, 6, 10 years old, they told me you should be called Jim. It wasn't my fault. They told me that. They learned me that. They teach me that. It wasn't my fault. So when I was in the UK, they told me, come on, you should be called Dimitrios.
Well, you should be called Dimitrios. All right.
It sounds very exotic, they told me. That's what you told me too. So I had an idea. In the first full English album that I will release pretty soon, I want that to be called Dimitrios. What do you think?
I think it sounds beautiful. I think it's great. I think you should write it exactly like we have here, Dimitris Nezis. And now your preferred pronunciation of your last name, I know we went through it before. It's Nezis?
Basically, it's Ne. it's okay if you say Nezis or Nesis or Nezis, but I want it to be like ne. Not ni, not na.
There you go. Nezis.
Nezis,
I like
Nezis, Nesis, or Nesis. It's okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, my friend. My goodness, I'm so glad that we've had this chance to talk. We didn't even scratch the surface. You have so many collaborations out there. The more recent one with Stacey Jackson. What a beautiful dance song. Boom, boom, boom. If you're out there in the club, I want you to hear that song. Well, tell me, you know, what you want in the future. Let's wind this thing down. But what do you see with Dimitris Nezis, you know, in the future? What is it you're looking to do? You have the 3 albums out there, the 18 singles out there, but, you know, and you have, you know, it's been getting thousands of streams. That you could find right on your bio on your website, and which I will have in the show notes. Make sure that you click on all those things. But what do you want for Dimitris in the near future?
I want to be honest with you. I want some more opportunities, extra chances for me, for people who will be, I want to find people from abroad, from the US or the UK, to support me and, you know, take me the hell out of Greece. And support me with some tours or performances, or I don't know how. I want to go, definitely. I want to visit the US and also continue with my career over there. I'm seriously thinking to move out to the US. And I'm so happy that I will be visiting Atlanta in August. I will be performing for the ICE Awards, for the International Singer-Songwriter Association Awards, in August. So it will be my first performance outside Greece, and I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited, and I hope that I will meet some people that will maybe help me. You know, it's not easy. Possibly they believe that it's easier to support some people who already live in the US. I hear that. I understand that. I get it. But I'm here to give my all. I'm here to prove that I can do better.
Well, I love talking to people all over the world that have collaborated with people all over the world. Even Stacey, she gave an interview and she said, she's never met you in person, correct? And yet you have this collaboration.
Basically, I knew Stacey from the UK.
Okay.
Stacey, I knew her because she was a regular to the restaurant when I used to work. So we had some, you know, connection via social media. So for so many years, for almost a decade. And she also did some great stuff, great recordings with Snoop Dogg, and she also is a Billboard charting artist. She's a great woman and great artist. So I told her when I had the viral in my hands, I told her to collaborate. She was like more than excited about that, and we did a trilingual song. It's not even bilingual. It's a trilingual song.
Trilingual, because what is it, Spanish as well?
It's English, French, and Spanish. Yeah, it was my first attempt to sing Spanish too.
Wow.
So I'm so excited. I'm very enthusiastic about everything that may happen in my international career. There are so many also independent music shows in the US, and I want to visit every single of that. And I want to perform in every single of that. I'm so ecstatic about that. You cannot imagine how much I want to release English music albums, and I want to do stuff. You cannot imagine how hungry I am to do lots of stuff, because, you know, I'm young enough, you know, I'm not that young enough. I'm young enough, you know. I'm 30.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Well, Dimitris, I noticed that you've already been recognized. The ISSA is just one of several award shows that recognize independent artists. Yes, you have the Grammys. These are the people that have record producers and companies that are pushing them with, hundreds, maybe millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, that are being pushed. But the nice thing about the ISSA and even the Josie Awards and some of these other ones that I've heard about over the years, they really do give you the wherewithal. They make you want to go further. I see some awards on the video for people that are listening to the audio version of this. What are the awards that you have sitting there on that table behind you?
ISA Awards, ISA Award. This is from Europe. It's Fair Play Country Music Awards. It's a red carpet awards in the Netherlands. And they told me that I will be able to perform in the Netherlands in August too. And also it's a Rampage Music Awards. Basically, I had received like more than 30 awards from indie music award shows in the US, most of them. That's why I told you that I'm very excited about to continue releasing music in English. Only in 2 years, I have succeeded so many things. And in Greece, I have succeeded like way less in more than a decade. That's why I'm a hungry independent artist. I need to find some booking agents in the US. I also want to find some managers who may help me. Not to target my pocket, but to help me.
There you go. Well, I mean, it's nice to get those awards, those accolades. It's like having a pat on the back or a handshake and saying, hey, good job. You did great. Keep going. Keep doing. Keep following your dreams. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's finish this thing off.
Definitely do it.
Yeah, let's finish this thing off.
Definitely do it.
I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. I want to talk with you as time progresses. When you release those albums, we can chat for a little bit. Doesn't have to be a whole hour. We can talk for, 10, 20 minutes, whatever you want. But I want you to give shout outs to people that have helped you along the way. You've already given shout outs to Kit Wakely and your company at Pulse Music Dance, and even Stacy Jackson, your collaborator.
Stacy Jackson, I love her. Stacy Jackson, I definitely love you. And she was a mentor to me. She helped me a lot. I love her, and our collaboration Viral will always be a song to be proud of, definitely. Because we also talked about ICE Awards, I want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Tamanidov. She has helped a lot. She has helped me a lot, and she believed in me since day one. And I need to say that she's a wonderful lady, and she's doing a lot to independent music industry. Definitely. God bless her. Definitely. And I also I want to say a big thank you to Konstantinos Ikonomopoulos, who is a Greek composer, and he's also giving me some great music. Most of the Greek songs I have sung till now, it's his compositions, most of them. So I would like to say a big thank you. I have to tell you that I have also a small surprise to everyone who are curious about what will I submit for next year Grammys. You should stay and watch. Stay tuned, everyone. I have some great stuff coming up apart from my, full English album.
That is beautiful.
And also, everyone who's watching, go on iTunes, go on Spotify, go everyone and stream, buy and like and share and dance to Poison, the brand new single, which was composed by Kit Wakely and it's written by me.
All the links are right down there in the show notes, so make sure you click all the links for Dimitris Nezis. Hey, I always finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or, whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Dimitris Nezis, please give the last words for the people?
I used to love, and I still love, Louise Hay. Have you heard of her?
No.
Louise Hay is a writer who I love. I definitely love with all my heart, and I have read all her books. I just want to close this interview tonight for me with a mantra which says, all is well and I am safe. Everything is working out for my highest good, and out of any type of situation, only good will come. That's all.
Well, there you have it, party people. Dimitris Nezis. Oh, what a cool dude. That man is going places, going far, but he needs your help. All right? Not just, hey, if all you can do is stream his songs and share his songs on your social media, do it. Do it. Okay? It costs nothing to listen to that music, to listen to that good Dimitris Nezis music. I mean, he's got the Greek music is awesome. It's so good. And then, because you can tell it's right from his soul. And then the English music, just as good. Except now I can understand the lyrics. And that's fantastic for me, because I'm selfish. I want to understand what I'm listening to. And it's beautiful. And he's got the collaborations. He'll sing on his own. It's dance, it's pop, it's rock. The man could do it all. The man could do it all. And he's got a little bit of people helping him out. He's got some people that have helped him out along the way. He gave some shout outs, but he needs more help. All right. Dimitris, I'm looking out for you, man. I want to see you going far. And hey, if you come to Atlanta, man, that's pretty close. It's not that close, but it's pretty close. Hopefully you make that tour across the USA and I get to meet you in person, my man. Dimitris Nezis, I'm so glad you finally made it to the podcast. Thanks for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email KeysDAN@AOL.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.